ladies and gentlemen of the class of 2008, families and friends, today is a glorious day in the life of our university. Today we celebrate the fulfillment of Vanderbilt's mission, embodied in the achievements of these graduates. This morning's commencement exercises complete the 133rd year of classes at Vanderbilt, the 134th since the founding of our university. Commencement is the one moment of an academic year during which our entire community, our students and their families, our faculty, our staff, our supporters, generations of our alumni, and our friends come together to celebrate the accomplishment of its destiny. The conferral of these degrees, graduate, professional, and undergraduate, symbolizes the fulfillment of Vanderbilt's primary mission, which is the education of students. This day manifests the whole meaning of our life as an institution. Vanderbilt is overseen with great attention and love by our Board of Trust, by Mrs. Martha Ingram, who is board chairman, and the other members of the board who are present with us this morning. This day brings us the rare occasion to thank them for their stewardship, their love, their commitment to Vanderbilt University. I will ask them to stand as I read their names. Please join me in applause when all names have been read. Would our trustees stand to be recognized? Martha Ingram, Joanne Hayes, Jimmy Webb, Ridley Wales, Cecil Conley, and Doug Shorenstein. Will you join me now in saluting them? I would also like to acknowledge and honor our 50th reunion class members who are with us today. Their presence testifies to the great history of this university and the way our past supports our future. Would you please join me in recognizing them? Now this morning, the graduates of the year 2008 will join them, the class of 1958, as our most newly minted alumni. Now Vanderbilt is ever more vibrant, multifaceted for the outlooks our graduates have brought with them from so many different points of origin. From 49 states, 59 countries, the Cayman Islands, Ecuador, Iceland, Israel, India, from Kazakhstan, Kenya, Korea, from Taiwan, Thailand, and Turkey, and 48 more. A litany of perspectives from which Vanderbilt continues to evolve and develop. We would not be able to mark our graduates' myriad accomplishments today were it not, however, for the commitment of Vanderbilt's outstanding faculty. Their teaching, mentorship have brought our students to this moment, so they also deserve honor at the close of this academic year. Members of the faculty, would you please stand so that we may properly recognize you? Now, the traditional course of Vanderbilt's commencement ceremony begins with a celebration of our emeriti faculty and a recognition of their deep, long-standing commitments to the university. Retiring members of Vanderbilt's faculty are recognized with the title of Emerita or Emeritus by the Board of Trust. Associate Provost for Faculty Tim McNamara and Vice Chancellor for Health Affairs Harry Jacobson will now present their faculty.
I have the honor of presenting the Professors Emeriti from the College of Arts and Science, the Blair School of Music, the School of Engineering, the School of Law, and the Peabody College of Education and Human Development. I will ask them to rise and remain standing when I call their names. I'm happy to present R. Wilburn Klaus, Robert Covington, Matthew Gould, Thomas Harris, Paul King, Michael Plummer, Carl Schnelly Jr., Richard Schiavi, Bobby Taylor, and Patricia Ward.
I am pleased to recognize the Professors Emeriti.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting the Professors Emeriti from the School of Medicine. I will ask them to rise and remain standing while I call their names. I'm happy to present Dr. Gerald Gotterer, Dr. Frederick Kirschner, and Dr. W. Anderson Spicker, Jr. Unable to be with us today, Dr. Darrell Granner and Dr. Gary Olson.
I wish to thank all of Vanderbilt's Emeriti for their incredible contributions to this great university. At this general ceremony, Founders Medals will be awarded and all degrees will be conferred, after which time the recipients of the graduate and graduate professional degrees will remove with their families and faculties and friends to receive diplomas in their separate ceremonies. All undergraduates receiving degrees from the College of Arts and Science, the Blair School of Music, the School of Engineering, and Peabody College will receive their diplomas from this platform. And now we have arrived at that moment you have all worked toward, the conferral of your academic degrees. The charges I will read are a legacy that comes to us from the time of Chancellor Alexander Hurd. They are imparted to every graduate of Vanderbilt University. In receiving them, you are joined to a lineage that precedes you, that will endure after you, and which flourishes because of you. First, Dean Richard McCarty will present the candidates for the degrees offered by the College of Arts and Science.
Will the candidates from the College of Arts and Science please stand?
I salute you for your academic achievements and distinctions, and in the name of a civil and educated society, welcome you to all of the obligations and privileges of educated women and men. Please be seated. Dean Mark Waite will present candidates for the degree of the Blair School of Music.
Mr. Chancellor, will the candidates from the Blair School of Music please stand? Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting these students who have fulfilled the requirements established by the faculty of the Blair School of Music for the degrees of Bachelor of Music and are recommended by the faculty for that degree.
I salute you for the academic distinction you have learned in your study of the art of music, and I commend the use of your skills and knowledge to the exaltation of the human spirit and the preservation of human culture. Please be seated. Dean Kenneth Galloway will present candidates for the degrees of the School of Engineering.
Will the candidates from the School of Engineering please stand? Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting these students who have fulfilled the requirements established by the faculty of the School of Engineering for the degrees of Bachelor of Engineering, Bachelor of Science, and Master of Engineering, and are recommended by the faculty for those degrees.
I congratulate you on the academic and professional foundations you have built for yourselves and commend the use of your exceptional training in the building of a better world for all people. Please be seated. Dean Camilla Bembo will present candidates for the degrees of Peabody College.
Will the candidates from Peabody College of Education and Human Development please stand? Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting these students who have fulfilled the requirements established by the faculty of the Peabody College for the degrees of Bachelor of Science, Master of Education, Master of Public Policy, and Doctor of Education, and are recommended by the faculty for that degree.
I salute you for your academic achievements and distinction and commend the use of your training, your art, and your skill to the continued creation and sustenance of an enlightened and literate society. Please be seated. Dean Colleen Conway Welch will now present candidates for the degree of the School of Nursing.
Will the candidates from the School of Nursing please stand? Mr. Chancellor. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting these students who have fulfilled the requirements established by the faculty of the School of Nursing for the degree of Master of Science in Nursing and are recommended enthusiastically by the faculty for that degree.
I congratulate you on the academic and professional distinction you have earned and commend you on the use of your arts and your sciences to the healing care of humankind. Please be seated. I now call upon Dean Jim Bradford to present candidates for the degree of the Owen Graduate School of Management.
Will the candidates for from the Owen Graduate School of Management please stand? Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting these students who have fulfilled the requirements established by the faculty of the Owen Graduate School of Management for the degrees of Master of Business Administration, Masters of Finance, and Masters of Accountancy, and are recommended by the faculty for those degrees.
I congratulate you on the skills and distinction you have attained and commend the application of your advanced knowledge to the better management of all of society's institutions. Please be seated. Now, Dean James Hudnut Boimler will present candidates for the degrees of the Divinity School.
Will the candidates from the Divinity School please stand? Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting these students who have fulfilled the requirements established by the faculty of the Divinity School for the degrees of Master of Divinity and Master of Theological Studies and are recommended by the faculty for those degrees.
I congratulate you on the educational distinction you have earned and commend to each of you a life of learned ministry and teaching to the spiritual welfare of humanity. Please be seated. I now call upon Dean Ed Rubin to present candidates for the degree of the School of Law.
Will the candidates from the law school please stand? Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting these students who have fulfilled the requirements established by the faculty of the law school for the degrees Masters of Law and Doctor of Jurisprudence and are recommended by the faculty for those degrees.
I congratulate you on your command of the ways justice is attained and commend your exceptional training to the advancement of a just social order. Please be seated. Dean Stephen Gabby will now present candidates for the degrees of the School of Medicine.
Will the candidates from the School of Medicine please stand? Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting these students who have fulfilled the requirements established by the faculty of the School of Medicine for the degrees of Master of Science in Medical Physics, Master of Public Health, Master of Science in Clinical Investigation, Master of Science in Laboratory Investigation, Master in Education of the Deaf, Master of Science in Speech-Language Pathology, Doctor of Audiology, and Doctor of Medicine, and are recommended by the faculty for that degree.
I didn't know medical school was that much fun. I congratulate you on your distinguished attainment to the role of physician and commend you to lives of healing in service to the welfare of humankind. Please be seated. Finally, Associate Provost Dennis Hall will present candidates for all the degrees of the graduate school.
Will the degree candidates from the graduate school please stand? Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting these students who have fulfilled the requirements established by the faculty of the graduate school for the degrees of Master of Arts, Master of Fine Arts, Master of Science, Master of Liberal Arts and Science, and Doctor of Philosophy, and are recommended by the faculty for those degrees.
I congratulate each of you on the advanced academic standing you have earned and commend you to the advancement of an educated society. I welcome you into the ancient and universal company of scholars. Please be seated. Now, will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy please stand again for particular notice? And will the deans on this platform who have candidates receiving this degree also stand to honor these recipients? The Philosophiae Doctor is the highest degree a university can bestow. Candidates, would you please turn to the audience to receive their appreciation and Vanderbilt's for your highest accomplishment. Please be seated. Now, I invite all who have been presented for degrees now to rise to have their degrees conferred. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trust of Vanderbilt University and by the vote of the faculties, I confer upon each of you the degrees for which you have qualified and extend to you the best wishes of alma mater now and for all the days of your lives. Ladies and gentlemen, will you join me in recognizing these remarkable graduates? Graduates, please be seated. Since 1877, a gold medal has been awarded to the student graduating with first honors from each of Vanderbilt's schools. These gold medals are called Founders Medals because in their first year, the awards were endowed by a specific contribution from Cornelius Vanderbilt. The dean of each school will assist me in bestowing the medal on the honoree from that school. Will the Founders Medalist for the year 2008 please approach the stage? Paul Gaudier, an Assyriologist and mathematician who graduates today in the College of Arts and Science with a dual degree in classics and mathematics, is this year's Founders Medalist for the College of Arts and Science. Paul has done serious work in both his disciplines. Last summer, attending a research experience for undergraduates at Kansas State, where he did research on matrix norms, focusing on von Neumann's inequality, work that he then evolved and broadened to include in his math honors thesis. Paul's honors thesis in classics is praised by his professors for its original treatment of the continuity of Babylonian traditions in the Hellenistic world after the conquests of Alexander the Great. Paul has received an award for outstanding accomplishment in classical studies from the Classical Association of the Middle West and South, at whose annual conference this year he presented his papers on the Christian Fathers' reading of Heraclitus. To present at this conference is a rare achievement indeed for an undergraduate. Paul's professors praise his quality of mind as being that of a mathematician, a linguist, and philosopher. Paul is such an impressive scholar that he has had to choose between excellent PhD programs in both mathematics and Near Eastern studies. These, of course, are problems that we'd all like to have. So after much deliberation, which we'd expect from Paul, and after he spends his summer doing math research in the south of France, Paul will join the University of Chicago's Department of Near Eastern Languages and Civilizations, where he will pursue his PhD in cuneiform studies. He will have a brilliant and important academic career, and we wish him the best, since he has brought nothing but the best to us. Congratulations, Paul. The Blair School of Music is proud to award its 2008 Founders Medal to Robert Tiedemann for his exceptional scholarship, musicianship, and citizenship. This Founders Medal becomes part of a great accumulation of recognitions by Bobby. He has received so many awards from Vanderbilt and Blair. The Theodore Presser Award, the highest honor the Blair School gives to a junior for musical and academic excellence, the Conferral LeJoy Jazz Award, and the Richard C. Cooper Award for outstanding contributions to the student experience at Vanderbilt. Bobby has contributed his talents generously at Vanderbilt, to the Vanderbilt Spirit of Gold Marching Band and Basketball Band, to the Phi Mu Alpha Sinfonia, to Vanderbilt's Wind Ensemble, Opera Orchestra, and Brass Quintet, and to the Blair Big Band. He has both performed and conducted for Vanderbilt off-Broadway. Last year, he toured northern China with Vanderbilt's orchestra. Sharing music is a service to humanity, and one that Bobby enacts willingly, not only as a performer and student within the Blair community, but on a larger scale as well. He has organized and led 8 music missions, one of which with 60 members, to local nursing homes and hospitals. With the Blair Bonds Trombone Ensemble, Bobby has played for patients and parents at the Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. Bobby is a musical arts and teacher education major. He will return to Vanderbilt this fall in order to complete his Master of Education degree at Peabody. We know that Bobby will continue to contribute generously to his community as a teacher and as a musician. Congratulations, Bobby. Chris Belande, who graduates with a triple major in computer science, mathematics, and Spanish, receives the School of Engineering's Founders Medal for 2008. Chris's career at Vanderbilt has been engaged and active, not only within our community, but in our city and in our world. In the past 4 years, Chris has served as the president of the Vanderbilt Math Club and helped organize the first ever Vanderbilt High School mathematics competition. He has worked as a teaching assistant in the math department and participated twice in the transformative experience that is Alternative Spring Break. In 2006, Chris spent 6 weeks in Spain studying at the University of Salamanca and has volunteered as a language mentor to Hispanic immigrants new to Nashville. Chris's academic distinctions are numerous. He's an Academic Achievement Honor Scholar, a member of Phi Beta Kappa, and recognized by both Spanish and engineering honor societies. Chris began his graduate study while still an undergraduate at Vanderbilt. He is currently enrolled in Vanderbilt's master's program in computer science, which he will complete in December. He will then begin his career as a software engineer at Blackbaud Inc. in Charleston, South Carolina. We wish him the very best fortune in the completion of his studies and skills and creativity in his future. Congratulations, Chris. Peabody College Founders Medal was awarded to Andrew Hafner, who graduates today with a dual degree in human organization and development and economics. Following his innate affinity for helping children, Andrew began his career at Peabody with the intention of becoming a teacher. But his mentors, Robert Croson, professor of leadership policy and organizations, and associate professor of HOD, Bob Innes, urged Andrew to consider becoming an attorney, to learn to use the law to improve the lives of children on a fundamental and essential level. Andrew is deeply dedicated to supporting young people and helping them to flourish. He has been an active participant in Vanderbilt, devoting time every week to tutoring elementary students in Nashville. This fall, Andrew will attend Harvard Law School to begin his training for a career in child advocacy law. The very definition of advocate is to speak for another who lacks the resources or the power to speak for herself. Andrew will be a powerful advocate and ally to all the children who are given to his responsibility. We are proud to present to him Peabody's highest academic award for a student. Congratulations, Andrew. Jane Zielinski Carter of Rockford, Illinois, receives the Founders Medal of the Vanderbilt School of Nursing. Jane has been a practicing nurse since the 1980s, but she enrolled in Vanderbilt's health systems management program when she witnessed nurses being underrepresented in the governance model of her local community hospital. She came to Vanderbilt in order to be a more effective proponent for nursing at an organizational level, as well as an outstanding advanced practitioner on the ground. As a full-time working nurse, a single mother in Rockford, Jane accomplished her MSN in Health Systems Management mostly online, finding the program an opportunity to form networks with other professionals across the country while developing her skills in leadership and analysis. She found learning management through a new electronic methodology liberated her to evolve her practice as an organizer as well as a clinician. Patient outcome at Jane's home hospital have already improved dramatically through her expertise. The St. Anthony Medical Center in Rockford is already implementing Jane's graduate school project on alcohol withdrawal. The great improvement seen in the care of patients with alcoholism has inspired the creation of training programs for hospital staff who care for other special patient population. Jane works from an implicit understanding to be a true advocate for nurses is also to be a true advocate for patients. We know that she will continue to represent both powerfully in the future. Congratulations, Jane. Philip Ruder, who graduates today with a Master's of Business Administration, concentrated in finance and accounting, receives the 2008 Founders Medal of the Owen Graduate School of Management. Phil has been on a journey toward these highest honors for a long time. Ever since the age of 12, when he was captivated by his father's explanation of how financial markets work. At Georgia Tech, where Phil earned his undergraduate degree in industrial and systems engineering, Phil also collected a certificate in finance. His interest in both engineering and finance carried him to a position at Power Plan Consultants, a leading developer in asset accounting software for large utilities. From there, Phil's irresistible affinity for finance brought him to Owen, where he has served his colleagues in the Owen community as vice chair of the Owen Honor Council and distinguished himself as sector head of the investment banking area for the Finance Club, as a member of the Tennessee Valley Authority Investment Challenge, and as the recipient of Owen's Matt Wigington Award for Outstanding Academic Achievement in Finance. Phil has taken on a full-time position in leverage finance at Bank of America Securities in Charlotte, North Carolina. He simply is a crack finance expert, the best at what he is endeavoring to do. And we wish him the best of a very prosperous future. Congratulations, Phil. Okay. Julie Delane Height today takes her place as the 89th recipient of Vanderbilt's Divinity School's Founders Medal. Julie came to the Master of Theological Studies program as an already accomplished music journalist, songwriter, vocalist, guitarist, and drummer with a critically acclaimed CD already to her credit. Julie brought her affinity for music to her theological studies at Vanderbilt. As a graduate research fellow at the university's Center for the Study of Religion and Culture, she participated in an interdisciplinary initiative exploring the ways religious and spiritual experiences affect how music is heard, performed, and interpreted in the American South. Julie also contributed her research on the relationship between religious practices and local and regional religious identities to the university's conference, God in Music City, which asked the question, is music a religion in Nashville? I suspect the answer was a resounding yes. Julie graduates today with a Carpenter Program certificate for her interdisciplinary research in religion, gender, and sexuality, and with the distinction of being the first student in the Divinity School's history to be awarded a book contract from a major university press before receiving her degree. You can look for Trying Hard to Be a Happy Woman, Spiritual Concerns of an American Woman out of Baylor University Press in 2010. What an auspicious day this is for her and for all of us. Congratulations, Julie. Leah Jo Brasek, who could not be with us today, I understand, is the Founders Medalist of the Vanderbilt Law School. I guess she worked so hard, Ed, she couldn't even get away. Let me tell you a little bit about this remarkable attorney-to-be. Between her undergraduate career in Bowdoin College and her matriculation in our law school, Leah worked as a litigation paralegal for the Justice Department's Antitrust Division. Here at Vanderbilt, her interest in litigation and dispute resolution has been reflected by her extraordinary achievement in that field, and recognized with a Cecil D. Brandstetter Litigation and Dispute Resolution Program Award. Leah has received both the Archie B. Martin Memorial Prize, awarded to the highest grade point average in her first year, and the Robert F. Jackson Memorial Prize for the highest scholastic average in the entire law school over 2 years. After graduating today, Leah will clerk for the Honorable Thomas Grisa in the District Court for the Southern District of New York in New York City. In 2009, she will move to clerk for the Honorable Neil Gorsuch, the United States Court of Appeals for the 10th Circuit in Denver, Colorado. Leah is going to be an extraordinary attorney and litigator with her talents and skills of benefit to many. We wish her the brightest future, and we give her our congratulations. Indira Landrigan is the Founders Medalist for the Vanderbilt School of Medicine. India spent the years between undergraduate and medical schools in some fascinating places, working on a tall ship, taking night classes to become an emergency medical technician, as a full-time hazmat team member and EMT with the Charleston County EMS in South Carolina, and as a bioterrorism analyst in the Office of the Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services. She was a member of the smallpox task force with top secret security clearance. I guess you may not longer have that since I mentioned. I'm sorry. So with such a background, I suppose India could not have resisted making her time at Vanderbilt University School of Medicine very interesting as well. She created and taught a pilot first response curriculum in first aid and CPR to students in the classes of 2009 and 2010. She served as vice president of the local chapter of the American Medical Women's Association, organizing the upcoming publication of the booklet, 10 Reflections on a Medical Path, a collection of the experiences of women faculty and medical residents at Vanderbilt. She chaired and organized important lectures for the Wellness Mind-Body Committee and student-led the Cultural Competency Retreat, which focused on religious, cultural, and personal issues affecting interactions with patients in clinical scenarios. India volunteered with the Remedy Program, which collects and sends unused medical supplies to developing nations, and regularly contributed her skills as a medical technician and EMT for the Shade Tree Family Clinic. India's energy and encompassing worldview have been a significant and positive influence on the medical center community. Her academic achievements have been recognized with the Merck Manual Award and with induction in her junior year to the Alpha Omega Alpha Medical Honor Society. She will become a resident in pediatrics at the New York Presbyterian Hospital Weill Cornell Medical Center, where her partner and fellow graduate, Ryan Bailey, will also be in resident. We wish them both the very best, and congratulations, India. Ladies and gentlemen, the men and women who graduate today would never have reached this stage without the support, love, and good faith of their parents, grandparents, of their friends and families. None of us can ever get to where we are without those behind us who love us. So I would like to thank those who have entrusted us with their extraordinary young people. Graduates, would you please join me in applause for all those who bore you up to this glorious day. Now, this is a day of great celebration, hope, and happiness. The sun has indeed come out to shine on us. And as I look out on this commencement assembly, I breathe in the air of great expectations for our graduates. I soak up the warmth of the sunlight, the families and friends of all of you who have supported, nourished, and loved these graduates on the path of their journey through Vanderbilt. Sitting among you are your professors, and I know that I speak for them when I tell you of our confidence in you, in our graduates, and in the noble and important things we know you will do. I know I speak for them when I tell you that our mission at Vanderbilt is to discover, teach, and heal, and it is affirmed by this gathering and by knowing unequivocally that you, like your predecessors, will go out and change our world. Now, you leave us with an expanded intellectual range and depth, with refined analytical abilities, and carrying a creative spark that will ignite your work in scientific, literary, artistic, academic, and technological fields, and transform every professional field serving humanity. Looking out on you, sitting beside you here today, we feel renewed hope and belief that these talents were developed, nurtured, and made richer and more diverse by your time in our laboratories, classrooms, clinics, libraries, our Nashville communities, study overseas, but most importantly, on these 330 acres of sacred ground we love as Vanderbilt. This timeless place with a timeless mission. This commencement season, all across the country, speakers are exhorting graduates like you to go out and do great things, to be leaders, to make your mark in the world. Go be a president, become senators, ambassadors, CEOs, Nobel Prize winners. Invent that next big thing. All of these ambitions are exciting, they are worthy, and they are certainly attainable by you. They will bring you, and of course our great university, much distinction and pride. Your many achievements show that you do strive to excel. You work tirelessly to reach your goals, and you deploy your so many gifts, and you seek good ends in a devoted and energetic life. I cannot stand here, privileged to serve and speak as your chancellor, and diminish to you the significance of the symbols of career progress that will come your way, the titles associated with the success you will earn, and the markers of professional advancement you will enjoy. Mine, of course, is my own parking space on our campus. Yet I cannot neglect this opportunity to say to you that your life's fulfillment counts for so much more. It is impossible for me and for you to take our eyes off of this immediate setting, the material, the afternoon, the tomorrow, and what lies ahead in 2008. Like me, you may be learning how to do a new job. Possibly you'll be looking for a new job, or you're headed to more school. Perhaps you want to travel. You want to climb a mountain, or you want to get involved in a political campaign. I worry not that you will fail to find your path, for I've seen the paths worn by so many before you. Yes, philosophy majors, you will end up running hedge funds. Economics majors, you will become artists. Classics majors, you may become investment bankers. And yes, history majors, you could become a university chancellor. It is all so rational and wonderful how it will all work out. I know that you will find your path. And we will celebrate that journey in many reunions ahead. You will return and share with each other, and I hope with me, the path you took, unexpected perhaps, but deeply fulfilling. As a parent of two sons, 18 and 21, I approach with great trepidation, despite my imposing outfit and these grand surroundings, also a sense of modesty, the heart of my message to you as we gather here today. I treasure this opportunity to speak to you, and I find that what moves me to speak is not so much my role and responsibility as your chancellor, nor even my instinct as a professor, but the same kind of parental love I feel for my own sons, the kind your parents and family members are feeling toward you, and which your professors feel as well. This upwelling of feeling is ultimately a deep sense of gratitude for our time together and for our shared experiences at Vanderbilt, and inspires me to want to speak to you in the end about the life ahead and your happiness. Now, during your time at Vanderbilt, we have all worked in so many ways to develop in you an awareness of and respect for the importance of evidence, airtight experimental methodologies, rigorous and careful analysis, and the other wonderful gifts of the Enlightenment. You have seen your papers and essays return to you looking, at times, like they were covered by a mad red graffiti artist. All to good ends, that is without dispute. Yet in all that world of the rational, the predictable, in the rigor you exhibit, and that Vanderbilt values so much in our mission and your education, in your life ahead, unanswered questions abound and paradoxes will remain. In virtually every area of study on your campus, economics, law, psychology, biology, ethics, philosophy, business, medicine, you've been confronted with paradoxes of human behavior. You've probably also been confronted with some paradoxes in your residence halls, laboratories, parking lots, dining halls. They pervade all that we do. These paradoxes test the limits of our assumptions about how we decide, how we act, and how we choose in every aspect of our lives. Your ability to recognize and understand them may well define your future contentment in the world, and mine as well. Now, I've become intrigued lately by several socioeconomic studies that discuss the relationship between happiness and material success, between happiness and income. Now, this is an area that prompts much inquiry and debate. In 1974, a psychologist at the University of Pennsylvania, Richard Easterlin, published a study purporting to demonstrate that economic growth doesn't necessarily lead to greater satisfaction with life. His theory, appropriately now known as the Easterlin paradox, became a classic of social science, refuting the link between wealth and happiness and offering, for my generation, validation to hippies everywhere. To take up the charge years later, a brilliant Princeton professor and Nobel Prize winner in economics, Dan Kahneman, invented a field called hedonic psychology to study specifically what makes occurrences in life pleasant or unpleasant. Now, after much experimentation, he concluded that the Easterlin paradox was accurate and that there is not a secure link between wealth and happiness. Jonathan Haidt, a professor of psychology at the University of Virginia, offers a thoughtful and expansive discussion of the theories of Easterlin, Kahneman, and many others in his wonderful book, The Happiness Hypothesis. Embracing Kahneman, Professor Haidt argues for a life not filled with wealth, objects, or even solitary reflection, but urges humanity, all of us, to embrace cooperation, reciprocity, and deep, deep friendships. Now, of course, academics are never content. We might say they're not happy with this or any other resolution. And it shouldn't surprise us that Easterlin, Kahneman, and Haidt have all been answered. Just this past month, the Easterlin paradox came under critique by two brilliant young economists from the Wharton School, Betsy Stevenson and Justin Wolfers, who have published a study arguing that, in fact, wealth and happiness do go together. Daniel Gilbert, a social psychologist at Harvard, recently said in an interview published by the New York Times that both happiness or unhappiness are less dependent on external circumstances than we would ordinarily assume. His wonderful book, Stumbling on Happiness, a bestseller, is a warning: don't search too hard for happiness. Now, to really put a cloud over things, the Wake Forest scholar Eric Wilson argues that cultural advances in society depend on melancholia. His recent book is appropriately called Against Happiness. I've decided he will not be invited to my birthday party. So a scholarly debate on happiness is, if not raging, certainly bubbling. And we are left to ponder, sitting here today, reflecting on life. What is it? How do you know when you're happy? What does happiness even mean? Is it dependent on culture, on gross domestic product, on wages? Is it absolute, or is it relative to the happiness of others? What factors make you or me more likely to be happy? And what if people in one country are enjoying their lives more than I am? Should I move? That's rational, isn't it? Now, the Easterlin paradox, confirmed by Kahneman, embraced by Haidt, is not alone in its claim to offer a broader and more robust definition of happiness, one that gives us guidance for how we lead our professional and personal lives. Many of you have learned of the ultimatum game, where one person is given a sum of money, but they can keep it only if she negotiates a split of the money with a partner. Now, there's one catch. Only one offer can be made. And if the partner rejects it, both people walk away with zero. Now, rational economic actors, people who want to maximize their gain, they may offer the partner a small amount. Say, if the total is $1,000 to split, and they're feeling really generous, they make a very generous offer to the partner of $100. She reasons, how can the partner refuse? She says yes, he gets $100 richer. If he says no, he gets nothing. Interestingly, in test after test of the ultimatum game, partners reject low offers, even though they end up empty-handed as a consequence. How can people turn away money and be content with nothing? The answer is interesting, powerful, and I think in some ways obvious. Offers of such meager shares, they're perceived, they're unfair. The partner seeks to punish the person making the offer, saying, I'd rather have nothing because you're greedy. Now, both partners gain when a sense of fairness governs their exchange. The lesson of the ultimatum game is that, perhaps contrary to rational expectations, it pays to be fair. Now, many noble and wise thinkers have also described happiness, life's fulfillment, and even work, your work ahead, as a quest that is individualistic, distant, and solitary. Whether it's Adam Smith's self-interest or the Stoic philosophers of ancient Greece who embrace apatheia as life's goal. The attraction of withdrawal is strong and argued persuasively by these great thinkers, far more thoughtful than I. We all know and we have felt that urge to withdraw and to claim the virtue and contentment of a solitary life, one that is considered creative or contemplative. When we do so, however, we must always remember the good teaching of Aristotle, who tells us that to be human is to seek happiness, eudaimonia in Greek. And central to this happiness, this good life, is the idea of friendship, what Aristotle calls philia. He writes, for without friends, no one would choose to live, though he had all other goods. So today, as we prepare to say goodbye, I want to encourage you to think about that Easterland paradox in your life ahead. Maybe there's not such a secure link between wealth and happiness. To ponder the results of the ultimatum game, which prove pays to be fair, and to compare the life and lure of the solitary life to the reality of this happy gathering we now experience, where parents and children, elders and youngsters, teachers and students, friends, roommates, lab partners, and teammates are all gathered to celebrate in partnership our shared future. I want to urge you to hold fast and tight to your experiences of empathy, of joy and work that is a shared passion, and of fairness, cooperation, as the life experiences that will lead to true happiness and ultimate fulfillment. You have lived these experiences at Vanderbilt in everyday life, in and out of the classroom. They are the sources of the fulfillment, happiness, and the nostalgia you feel right now. Well, you will leave here with much, that I know. I saw the vans, the trailers, the automobiles lined up to move you out on the next step of your journey. When you load them all up with books, computers, your files of old papers, your ongoing research, when you tuck in the mementos of concerts and plays and performances, when you at the last minute add to your iPhones the addresses of the people you know will be your friends forever, and then you slide your diploma into that last open inch of space, please take with you all this abiding lesson, also this abiding lesson from your time at Vanderbilt, that the effort you make to put yourself in another person's shoes, the time you find to share your discoveries and passions with others, and the willing heart you bring to understanding the paradoxes you will always confront is the stuff of happiness. Lead lives filled with joy. Start that immediately. I know you will do well. I know you will accomplish good for others. And in the most literal sense of the word, I wish you farewell.
The recipients of bachelor degrees, please remain seated. Your diploma awarding ceremony will begin here shortly. Candidates for master's and doctoral degrees, their faculties and their guests will now recess to the separate diploma awarding ceremonies. There's a map with suggested walking paths to each of these locations on the inside back cover of the commencement program. Faculty marshals are everywhere to assist as the degree recipients and their faculties recess from these seating sections. Thanks.